Chosen one, do not move your throats. Do not skip this moment. Look around you right now. The room is quiet, the house is still, but the silence in your space tonight is not peaceful at all. It feels heavy, like a thick blanket pressing down on your chest. You are sitting there feeling completely empty. I need you to stop and breathe. This message did not find you by accident. This is not some random event on your screen. Heaven has literally bent the rules of time to place this exact revelation in front of your eyes. God made sure you found this tonight, because He saw you staring at the wall. He saw the way your heart sank when you realized how utterly alone you are right now. Your shoulders are aching from carrying a weight no one else can see. Your jaw is clenched so tight, you swallow the lump in your throat because you are tired of crying over the same things. The people you loved have walked away. The friends you trusted are suddenly silent. The phone does not ring anymore. You feel like a ghost in your own life. You gave them absolutely everything. You poured your soul into making sure everyone else was okay. You were the caregiver, the one who always showed up, the one who fixed the broken pieces. And when you finally needed them, the room suddenly went completely empty. Everyone vanished. And now you are sitting in this heavy silence, wondering what you did wrong. Hear my voice clearly tonight. You did nothing wrong. Breathe out that heavy guilt right now. You have been torturing yourself for weeks, analyzing every conversation, wondering if you pushed them away. You thought this isolation was a severe punishment. You thought God was angry with you and left you behind in the dark. That is a complete lie from the enemy. Heaven cleared the room tonight for a very specific reason. God wanted you all to Himself. There is a massive secret hidden in this sudden isolation, a secret that the dark forces are terrified you will discover. They want you to panic in this empty room. They want you to beg for those toxic people to come back. But you must stand still. You are not a victim of cruel abandonment. You are a chosen vessel entering a highly sacred transition. The people who left your life recently did not leave because you are flawed or unlovable. They left because their frequency could not survive the divine fire that is about to fall on your life. God had to aggressively remove them before He could pour out your massive inheritance. I know you are exhausted deep in your bones. The mental fog is so thick you can barely string your daily thoughts together. Your nervous system has been on high alert for months, bracing for the next betrayal, the next painful disappointment. You have lived in sheer survival mode for so long that true peace actually feels dangerous to you. You do not even know how to rest anymore without feeling a deep, nagging guilt. Stay in this room with me. Do not let the loud distractions of the world pull your tired eyes away from what I am revealing. If you scroll away now, you will carry this heavy confusion into tomorrow. You will keep begging for the wrong doors to open. Look closely at the profound silence around you. It is not an empty grave. It is a sterile operating room. The master surgeon is at work tonight. He isolated you to heal the deep wounds that those careless people left behind. The extreme loneliness you feel is simply the shock of the spiritual anesthesia taking effect. You are about to wake up to a stunning reality you never imagined. I am going to show you exactly why the room had to be cleared and what God is bringing into this newly emptied space. Your season of being the forgotten option is officially over. The painful severing of those old ties was the final requirement for your elevation. Do not mourn the loss of people who were only meant to be temporary visitors in your profound journey. What feels like a devastating ending tonight is actually the most glorious beginning you have ever witnessed. Listen closely, because the truth of your isolation will set you permanently free. Let me speak directly to the tender places you have hidden from the world. I saw you sitting on the edge of the bed when the house finally grew quiet. You stared at the glowing screen of your phone in the dark. And as the hours passed, you wondered how people who promised to stay could just pack up their affection and walk away so easily. The physical ache in your chest is real. You swallowed your tears because you did not want anyone to hear you break. You have become an expert at crying silently while the rest of the house sleeps peacefully. The betrayal did not just hurt your feelings. It shattered your fundamental trust in human goodness because you gave them the purest parts of your soul. They took your light and left you in the shadows. You were always the safe harbor for everyone else during their violent storms. When they were broken, you stayed up late putting their shattered pieces back together. You defended them when others walked away. But the moment you needed a steady hand, they suddenly became too busy to carry your heavy burden. Their brutal absence feels like a knife in your back. I know the agonizing pressure you feel to reach out and explain yourself one more time. You desperately want to send that long message to prove your heart was always clean. You want to make them understand how much their sudden distance is destroying your peace. Do not send that message. You are exhausting yourself trying to resurrect dead connections. Pause exactly where you are. Unclench your jaw. Exhale the anxiety of isolation. Let your tight shoulders drop away from your ears right now. Your body is carrying the toxic residue of people who never truly appreciated your immense value. While you poured out your endless love, they quietly drained your spiritual energy and smiled right to your face. You are carrying their guilt. The hardest part is the massive confusion that follows their quiet exit. They did not even give you the courtesy of an honest conversation before they turned cold. One day they were your closest confidant, and the next day they looked at you like a total stranger. And because your heart is so pure, you immediately assumed that you were the toxic problem. You replayed every single interaction, searching for the exact moment you ruined everything. You criticized your own words and questioned your own pure intentions. Listen to me very carefully tonight. You are incredibly pure. The sudden rejection you experienced has absolutely nothing to do with your worth or your capacity to love deeply. It is a terrifying feeling to be painted as the villain in a story where you bled to keep others alive. They flipped the narrative to protect their own fragile egos. They made you the scapegoat so they would not have to face their own dark reflection. And heaven watched them lie about you while you sat in silence trying to protect their reputation. This betrayal has caused a profound spiritual fatigue that sleep simply cannot fix. You wake up feeling more exhausted than when you closed your heavy eyes. The grief of losing living people is a unique kind of funeral that you have to attend every single day. You mourn the beautiful future you genuinely thought you would build with them by your side. So now you sit alone in this quiet room trying to process the massive void they left behind. The silence screams at you with all the memories of their hollow promises. You feel incredibly foolish for believing that their loyalty would actually match your own. But your fierce loyalty is a rare and holy gift, not some tragic human flaw. Do not let their cruel betrayal harden your beautiful heart into cold stone. The extreme pain you are feeling right now is the undeniable proof that you love them genuinely. But heaven saw exactly what they were doing behind your back while you were busy praying for their success. The Father saw the hidden daggers they held in their hands. Your tears are not wasted, and your current isolation is not a permanent prison sentence. The agonizing severing of these deep ties is the first critical phase of your supreme rescue. Keep breathing through this heavy sorrow. I am about to reveal exactly what heaven was protecting you from when those trusted doors suddenly slammed violently shut. I need you to understand something very clearly tonight. The isolation you are experiencing is not a rejection at all. It is a divine course correction. You thought their departure was proof that you were difficult to love, but heaven sees the entire picture that you are currently missing. Hold that exact sentence and do not let it slide past you. They did not leave because you are toxic. They left because they could not breathe in your pure atmosphere. You carry a very heavy prophetic calling on your life. Your spirit demands truth and absolute authenticity. But the people who walked away were comfortably feeding on illusions. They wanted the benefits of your light without respecting the sacred fire that produces it, and when the heat became unbearable, they ran away to find cheaper warmth elsewhere. You must stop mourning their cowardly exit right now. God is aggressively clearing out the toxic people from your immediate future. He knows the sheer magnitude of the harvest you are about to inherit. You are entering a season of massive financial and spiritual abundance. The Father cannot allow scavengers to sit at a table prepared exclusively for kings, because they would simply consume your blessing and leave you starving once again. Let them walk away. Their frequency is simply too low for where heaven is taking you. They are committed to their petty dramas and their endless survival mentality. But you are the cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You cannot drag dead weight across the threshold of your promised land while you are trying to step into a massive new dimension of wealth. God had to forcefully break their grip on you. He loved you too much to let them stay. You have been praying for a major breakthrough for years. You begged heaven to open the floodgates of immense prosperity, but God could not drop a massive blessing into a room full of thieves. He had to secure the perimeter of your life first, and this sudden betrayal was the only way to expose their hidden motives before the vault finally opened. The pain was actually your ultimate protection. Stop standing at the door begging them to come back inside. You are acting like a beggar when you are actually the rightful heir. They were only temporary cast members in the painful training season of your life. Their contract expired the moment your true destiny began to actively manifest, so you must let them go with a completely quiet and confident grace. You do not need their empty apologies. The enemy wants you to focus solely on the empty chairs. He wants you to feel entirely worthless and bitterly defeated. If you stay distracted by human rejection, you will completely miss the brilliant divine appointment that is currently standing right in front of your tearful eyes. Look at the completely empty room again. Those empty spaces are not a tragedy. They are a physical necessity for your miracles. You outgrew them the moment you decided to seek total healing. While they were busy complaining about their chains, you were actively forging the keys to your absolute freedom. Your rapid spiritual growth triggered their deepest and most hidden insecurities. They could not handle watching you evolve into a fierce warrior while they deliberately chose to remain comfortable and helpless victims. Their sudden silence is just their loud intimidation. Do not ever apologize for shining too brightly for their weak eyes. You were born to be a light bearer in a very dark generation. The isolation is just a temporary cocoon to protect your fragile wings while you transform. Heaven is building a completely new inner circle for you right now, and the beautiful people who speak your exact language are already on their way to find you. Your tribe is coming soon. Breathe in the incredible freedom of this completely empty room. You no longer have to shrink yourself to make narrow minds feel perfectly comfortable. You do not have to translate your pure soul for people who deliberately choose to misunderstand your pure intentions. The heavy burden of their toxic expectations has been fully lifted off you. You are safely separated tonight. You are securely hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. But there is another heavy layer to this painful isolation. The physical silence of the empty room is deafening tonight, but the sudden silence from heaven feels absolutely terrifying right now. You pray until your voice completely breaks in the dark, and you desperately ask for a single sign to know you are not forgotten, and yet the sky remains entirely quiet. You feel completely abandoned by the very God you faithfully serve. This divine silence creates a violent storm inside your physical body. Your mind races constantly. You try desperately to decode the massive mystery of your current season. You cannot sleep well because your heart beats so fast in your chest. You wake up utterly exhausted. A thick mental fog makes simple daily tasks feel completely impossible. Your nervous system is simply trapped in pure survival mode. You sit at the edge of your bed feeling a deep physical ache. It is not just sadness anymore. It is a profound physiological restlessness that makes your skin crawl. You pace the floor late at night. You check your phone constantly. You desperately hope for any sudden distraction from the quiet panic creeping up your spine, but the screen stays dark. And the panic slowly rises right into your throat. The hardest part is the massive spiritual fatigue. You have carried the heavy faith for your whole family. You did this for so many long years. You fiercely believed the pure promises when everyone else doubted the vision. And now you are standing at the very edge of your miracle. But you feel entirely too weak to cross the finish line. You wonder if you somehow missed the divine window of opportunity. You feel completely broken. You question your own sanity in this deep fog. Did you imagine the prophetic words spoken over your life? Was your deep intuition just a foolish human desire? The enemy uses this quiet waiting room to torture your tired mind. He whispers that God has finally moved on to someone else. He tells you that your immense suffering was entirely for nothing. Do not believe his toxic lies tonight. Your body is reacting to the intense pressure of a massive spiritual threshold. The overwhelming anxiety you feel is not a lack of faith at all. It is the natural human response to standing directly in the space between your painful past and your huge future. Your mind simply cannot comprehend the sheer scale of what is coming. It resorts to panic because the old patterns are dying. Let them pass away. You are experiencing the terrifying weight of the void right now. When God actively removes the old foundations, you briefly feel like you are falling through empty space. The divine silence makes you feel completely invisible to the creator of the universe. You cry out for a clear map. You demand a straight direction, but he only gives you a quiet room and a heavily locked door. This is incredibly frustrating. I see the physical toll this waiting period has taken on your body. Your eyes are heavy with unshed tears. Your shoulders carry the invisible tension of 1,000 unanswered questions. You feel like a fragile glass about to shatter into 1,000,000 tiny pieces. You are so utterly tired of always being the strong one. You just want a safe place to rest your heavy head tonight. Listen closely now, for I speak with a great weight. The silence of heaven is not a punishment for your past mistakes. You have not been abandoned in this dark wilderness to starve alone. The intense physiological pressure you are feeling is actually the gravitational pull of your massive incoming blessing. Your current capacity is being aggressively stretched to hold the new wine. Do not let the terrifying silence convince you to surrender your crown. The void is not empty at all. It is heavily pregnant with the absolute greatest miracle of your entire life. Keep breathing deeply right through the heavy mental fog. I am going to fully decode the mystery of this divine silence for you. You will soon understand exactly what the master architect is building in the dark. You demand to know why heaven is so completely quiet right now. The heavy silence feels like a cruel punishment for your past mistakes. You think God has turned his face away from your deep suffering, but you are entirely wrong about this divine mystery. The profound silence of heaven is actually the loud sound of absolute protection. God is intensely busy sweeping your room completely clean. He had to aggressively clear the space around you. He saw the hidden parasites waiting quietly in your shadow. They were perfectly positioned to steal your massive incoming blessing. They pretended to love you while secretly planning to drain your resources. God saw their greedy hands reaching for your sacred harvest, and he simply refused to let them consume your hard-earned future. The sudden isolation is not a painful accident at all. It is a highly calculated move by the master architect. He could not announce your elevation while the enemy was actively listening in the room, so he had to abruptly shut the heavy door. The people who abandoned you were actually the dangerous leeches. They only loved the free benefits your bright light provided. When your spiritual energy began to shift, their toxic food supply was suddenly cut off. They could no longer manipulate your pure heart for their own selfish gain. They starved and quickly fled the scene to find another victim. You cried over their departure because you did not see their sharp teeth, but heaven saw every single bite they took out of your beautiful soul. This current silence is the holy sweeping process in action. God is aggressively removing every hidden threat from your immediate environment. He wants your upcoming harvest completely untouched by their toxic hands, and he will not compromise your safety for your temporary comfort. You must stop apologizing for this sacred isolation right now. The thick silence is your ultimate shield against the dark forces. There is a massive secret hidden inside this quiet space. A profound prophetic truth is waiting for you in the middle of this completely empty room. You are standing on the very edge of a massive financial and spiritual breakthrough. If your spirit feels the clearing, type 777 to seal this prophetic truth. This numerical seal marks your final agreement with heaven today. You are finally agreeing with the divine military strategy. You are accepting the quiet shield instead of begging for noisy companions. The enemy desperately wants you to hate this beautiful silence. He knows his access to your life has been permanently cut off by the Father. He is currently starving outside your heavily locked door, and he is furious because he cannot touch your destiny. Rest securely in this newly swept room tonight. The spiritual air around you is finally clean and completely pure again. You are absolutely safe from the invisible vultures today. The master plan is unfolding perfectly behind the thick curtain of silence, because your massive inheritance requires absolute security before it finally arrives in your hands. Heaven guarantees your complete protection during this transition. You have carried the heavy burdens of other people for way too long. You allowed them to set up camp in your sacred space. They brought their endless chaos and their loud demands right into your quiet sanctuary, but God simply had enough of their profound disrespect for your high calling. He evicted them without giving you any prior warning. Their sudden departure was a violent but necessary rescue. Stop trying to track down the people who walked away. Do not look at their lives and wonder why they seem so perfectly happy without you. Their fake happiness is merely an illusion designed to make you doubt your own divine path. They are walking back into the dark wilderness, while you are walking directly into the promised land of immense wealth and perfect peace. Let the heavy doors slam shut behind them. You are standing at the exact edge of your massive breakthrough right now. The intense pressure you feel is the heavy gravity of the threshold. Every major spiritual transition comes with this terrifying resistance before the dawn, and your tired mind feels completely exhausted by the constant battle. You feel like you cannot take another single step forward in the dark. But you must hold your ground today. The dark forces are absolutely panicking because they see your bright future. They know exactly how much wealth heaven is about to release into your hands. The enemy is terrified of the influence you are about to possess, but he cannot stop the delivery of your divine inheritance. So he is desperately trying to break your mind before the vault finally opens. He is projecting a massive illusion of eternal loneliness right into your quiet room. The crushing isolation you feel right now is actually a carefully manufactured lie. He wants you to believe that you will be alone forever in this dark place, and he constantly whispers that your purity has completely ruined your chances of happiness. He wants you to feel entirely rejected by the world. His ultimate goal is to make you run backward in pure terror. He hopes the silence will break your resolve and force you to completely retreat. He wants you to crawl back to the toxic people who abused your gentle soul, because if you go back to them, you will forfeit the magnificent crown waiting just across the threshold. You cannot let him win this mind game tonight. Listen closely now, for I speak with a great weight. The overwhelming sorrow sitting on your chest does not belong to you at all. It is a direct spiritual attack designed to suffocate your faith, and the enemy throws these heavy feelings of despair at you like poisoned arrows. He wants you to swallow his toxic lies and absolutely surrender your royal birthright. You must separate your true identity from this fake emotional attack. The anxiety is simply the loud noise of a defeated enemy throwing a tantrum, because he is losing his grip on your bloodline forever, and he is absolutely furious. Your family will never return to the dark cycles of poverty and depression. The generational curse is actively breaking right in front of him. The threshold is always the darkest and most painful part of the long journey. The pressure tries to crush you right before the massive doors swing open. But your spirit is incredibly resilient because God forged it in the fire, and you survived every single attack they secretly launched against you in the past. You will easily survive this temporary illusion of loneliness. Do not let the quiet room intimidate your brave heart anymore. The empty space is just the perfect canvas for your upcoming miracle. The enemy wants you to fill this sacred space with panic and desperate phone calls, because he wants you to compromise your high standards just to feel a cheap human connection again. You must fiercely refuse to settle for crumbs tonight. Stand perfectly still while the spiritual storm rages wildly outside your window. The dark forces are wasting their final energy trying to scare a true warrior, and they cannot touch your pure soul unless you willingly open the door to their lies. Keep the door firmly locked and let them scream in the dark. Your complete safety is entirely guaranteed by the Father. The fake pressure is going to evaporate very soon. The intense squeezing you feel in your spirit is about to release into magnificent glory. You are so incredibly close to the finish line that the enemy is literally shaking with fear, because he knows your arrival season is about to officially begin. He absolutely cannot follow you into the beautiful promised land. It is time to completely drop the heavy narrative of the victim right now. You have played the tragic role of the abandoned survivor for far too long. The enemy convinced you that your deep suffering was a permanent identity, and he wanted you to wear your painful scars like a badge of absolute defeat. But you must tear off that old label tonight. You were never a helpless victim left to bleed out in the dark wilderness. The profound isolation you experienced was not an act of divine cruelty. It was a fierce and calculated act of supreme protection from the Father. He did not walk away and leave you entirely defenseless against the wolves, but he actually built a massive fortress around your tired soul. Stop crying over the people who simply could not love you properly. You are acting like a desperate beggar crying over spoiled crumbs on the floor. While you are mourning their exit, heaven is preparing a magnificent feast exclusively for you. You must stop trying to negotiate with people who are absolutely committed to misunderstanding your incredible worth. Your begging days are completely over. Look closely at the incredibly quiet room you are sitting in tonight. The profound emptiness is not a terrifying punishment for your human mistakes. It is the sterile environment required to deliver your massive spiritual inheritance. A king does not share his sacred throne room with treacherous thieves, because the crown demands absolute loyalty from everyone in the inner circle. The room had to be aggressively cleared. You are the chosen one specifically appointed to break the generational curses. You carry the massive responsibility of setting your entire bloodline completely free. Do you honestly think God would allow toxic people to sabotage such a monumental mission? He forcefully removed them from your life because your divine assignment is far too important to fail in this critical hour. You are highly guarded today. Release the heavy guilt you feel for finally drawing a firm boundary. You have apologized for your bright light for the absolute last time. You do not owe anyone a miserable version of yourself just to keep them perfectly comfortable. Your spiritual growth is not a crime, and you will not be punished for outgrowing their incredibly shallow expectations. You are brilliantly free. The painful transition from a wounded survivor to a powerful heir requires absolute silence. You cannot hear the specific instructions for your immense wealth over the loud noise of their complaints. Heaven had to mute the entire world around you so you could finally hear the precise strategy for your upcoming harvest. You are receiving the exact blueprint right now. The physiological pressure sitting on your chest is simply the old skin shedding. You are completely outgrowing the tiny boxes they tried to force you into. The heavy anxiety is not a sign of your impending failure at all. It is the immense growing pains of a giant waking up from a very long sleep, and your spirit is finally stretching its powerful wings. Your spiritual muscles are finally expanding. Stand up straight in the middle of this beautiful and quiet fortress. You are heavily protected by the absolute highest power in the entire universe. No weapon formed against your pure mind or your massive finances will ever prosper. The divine silence is simply the loud sound of the enemy entirely failing to breach your holy perimeter today. You are completely untouchable tonight. The heavy season of crying yourself to sleep is officially completely over. You will no longer view your current isolation as a tragic story of painful rejection. You are an elite warrior, sitting safely inside an impenetrable divine bunker. Heaven is simply waiting for you to completely recognize your true authority before the main doors of the massive vault finally open wide. The long wait is almost done. Do not let another tear fall for the people who walked away from your light. They were never equipped to survive the incredible altitude of your specific destiny. Let them stay safely in the shallow waters where they feel perfectly comfortable. You are being called into the deep oceans of unprecedented spiritual miracles, and you must prepare your heart for the massive overflow. You belong in the absolute deep. Now, let the massive truth of this revelation completely shatter your old mindset. The profound silence in your room tonight is not an accident of fate. God deliberately removed everyone from your immediate presence for one spectacular reason. He wanted you all to himself. He cleared the entire room because the massive throne prepared for you cannot be shared with anyone else. You are stepping into the absolute pinnacle of your divine inheritance right now. The Father could not crown you while you were still surrounded by people who secretly wished for your total failure. He had to isolate you to place the royal mantle on your shoulders privately, because the sheer magnitude of this blessing would blind the eyes of those toxic scavengers. This is your private coronation. You are no longer the exhausted caregiver bleeding out for ungrateful people. You are the rightful heir to a massive spiritual and financial kingdom. The vault of heaven has been completely unlocked specifically for your bloodline today. The years of deep scarcity and painful lack are officially broken in the spiritual realm, and the heavy curse of poverty has been completely destroyed. Do you feel the incredible weight of this new authority settling upon you? The heavy anxiety that choked your throat earlier is completely dissolving into pure peace. The intense pressure you felt was simply the final labor pains before the birth of your miracle. You are crossing the massive threshold right now, and you are leaving the dark wilderness far behind you forever. You have officially arrived. A petitioner stands outside the heavy gate and begs for tiny scraps. But an heir simply walks through the main door of the grand estate and completely receives everything. You will never beg for love or basic provision ever again in your life. The master of the house has written your specific name on the very deed to the property, and the entire kingdom is completely yours. Stop looking over your shoulder at the painful season you just survived. The dark forces have completely lost their grip on your beautiful mind today. Their fake illusion of loneliness has been entirely shattered by the brilliant light of this profound revelation. You are entirely surrounded by a massive legion of angels protecting your new territory, and you are never alone. You are heavily guarded. This is the exact moment your complete transformation becomes physically real. Your pure spirit has fully accepted the incredible weight of this massive divine promotion. The deep wounds inflicted by those careless people have been completely sealed by the master surgeon, and you are standing tall in the center of your newly swept room as a powerful conqueror. If this sanctuary has bound your deep wounds and completely confirmed your inheritance today, kindly plant a seed through the super thanks button on the altar. Do not do this out of fear, but as a physical decree of your complete gratitude. Your offering is the signed acknowledgement of an heir who absolutely trusts that the massive harvest is already secured. Claim your magnificent throne tonight. You are planting a powerful seed directly into the rich soil of your new season. This holy transaction completely breaks the final remnants of the beggar mentality in your mind. You are acting like a wealthy king who happily honors the divine altar because he knows the massive vault is fully open. The law of supernatural multiplication is actively working in your favor right now. Take a moment to absorb the incredible magnitude of what just happened here. Your entire identity has been completely upgraded from a tired survivor to the chosen elite. The heavy chains of your painful past have completely shattered on the floor. You are breathing the pure air of absolute freedom, and the beautiful future waiting for you is brighter than you ever imagined. The massive shift is done. Please pause exactly where you are right now. Do not rush to the next thought in your mind. Unclench your tight jaw and let your heavy shoulders fall completely away from your ears. You have carried a massive amount of spiritual tension for months, and your body is exhausted from fighting invisible battles every single day. But the intense battle is officially over tonight. Take one very slow and deep breath in and let the heavy air out. Feel the profound stillness of the newly swept room around you. The air in your space is completely clean and perfectly pure again. The suffocating pressure that was crushing your chest just 10 minutes ago is entirely gone. God has completely removed the heavy armor from your tired back because you are safe in His massive arms. You do not need to fiercely defend yourself anymore. The painful spiritual war is officially finished today. You can finally let your guard down in this holy sanctuary. No one is hiding in the dark corners waiting to betray your pure heart. The enemies have been securely locked outside the heavy gates of your magnificent estate, and they can never access your sacred peace again. You are standing exactly where you are supposed to be. Allow your nervous system to fully recognize this profound physical safety. You are completely protected in this empty room. Notice how light your physical body feels right at this exact moment. The heavy mental fog that clouded your vision is completely lifting away. Your racing thoughts are slowing down into a beautiful and quiet river of absolute peace. The Father is gently washing away the toxic residue of every single tear you cried while you were waiting for this divine rescue. You are being completely restored from the inside out. Breathe in the incredible sweetness of this divine and perfect rest. You spent so many years running on the fumes of pure survival, adrenaline. You constantly braced yourself for the next massive disappointment to suddenly drop from the sky. But there is absolutely no danger left in this newly purified space today, and you can safely close your tired eyes without any fear. The terrifying spiritual storm is finally and permanently gone. The immense grief of losing those toxic relationships has completely evaporated. You no longer feel the sharp sting of their sudden and cruel departure. Heaven has graciously replaced your deep sorrow with a profound sense of untouchable royalty. You are breathing the rare air of the chosen elite tonight, and your pure soul is perfectly anchored in the absolute truth of your great destiny. The incredibly painful isolation was completely worth it. Do not let your mind wander back to the old places of worry. If a sudden anxious thought tries to whisper in your ear, simply exhale it away. You hold the ultimate authority over the spiritual atmosphere in your home right now. Command the lingering shadows to completely dissolve into the brilliant light of your new reality, because you are the absolute master of this quiet room. Your perfect and holy peace cannot be broken today. Heaven is wrapping a thick blanket of divine comfort around your heavy shoulders. You are completely enveloped in the fierce love of a Father who refused to let you settle. He disrupted your entire life, just to bring you to this exact moment of profound peace. Feel the deep gratitude welling up in your healed heart right now, because you survived the absolute darkest night of your entire beautiful soul. You are completely and wonderfully whole again today. Every single cell in your physical body is realigning with the frequency of miracles. The deep exhaustion in your bones is being replaced by a quiet and steady strength. You will wake up tomorrow morning with a clear mind and a completely joyful spirit. The heavy chains of the old survival patterns are lying shattered on the ground, and you have gracefully crossed the massive threshold into abundance. Your massive new life has officially begun today. Please stay in this beautiful stillness for just a few more quiet moments. Resist the sudden urge to jump up and immediately return to your busy routine. Let this profound somatic healing sink deeply into the very foundation of your beautiful spirit. You are marking the exact end of your painful wilderness season tonight, and the magnificent arrival season is finally bursting into glorious existence. You are completely safe and eternally deeply loved. The massive spiritual shift is now completely locked into your reality. You are no longer sitting in a place of tragic abandonment. You are standing in the center of your royal inheritance. This quiet room is officially your magnificent new kingdom. You must never let the enemy convince you to return to the beggar mentality, because heaven has already equipped you for this. Walk in your authority tonight. Heaven requires a physical signature to finalize this massive transfer of wealth. Your silent agreement is beautiful, but a true heir must legally claim their estate. Leave the word Amen below as a holy acknowledgement signed by the chosen elite. This is your permanent covenant with the Father today. You are declaring that you receive the harvest and reject the toxic past forever. The spiritual ink is dry, but your divine assignment does not end with your personal freedom. The heavy season of isolation is breaking off you right now, but heaven works through human connection. There is someone in your phone contacts who is staring at their screen right now. They are terrified of tomorrow and feeling completely abandoned just like you were. They are crying silently in the dark, and they urgently need a rescue. You hold the exact medicine they desperately need tonight. Use your hands to be their immediate deliverance in this very dark hour. When you share this exact message with them, you act as the hands and feet of the Almighty. You are actively pulling them out of their deep despair before the enemy crushes their tired spirit. Pass this revelation on to them immediately. Save a beautiful soul tonight. Heaven always honors the generous heart that helps another wounded soldier. When you share my word, you set the divine law of multiplication into rapid motion. The Father watches you protect His other children, and He instantly multiplies your personal harvest 100 times over. You cannot outgive the Creator of the universe. Share this profound truth to secure their peace, and watch your own blessings overflow. The dark forces are incredibly angry that they lost their grip on your mind today. The enemy will attempt to return tomorrow morning with a brand new set of toxic lies. He wants to steal the magnificent seed that was planted in your healed heart. He hopes you will wake up and forget your royal identity. You must build a massive wall of fire around your new mindset immediately. Protect your holy gates. You need daily spiritual armor to maintain this high altitude of perfect peace. Subscribe to this sanctuary so tomorrow brings another powerful prophetic word directly into your feed before the old habits of the enemy can even return. Do not leave your spiritual doors wide open to the dangerous wolves of the world. Anchor yourself in this holy frequency. You must stay closely connected to the truth that set you free. You are no longer wandering through the wilderness alone. You have officially joined a powerful tribe of cycle breakers who understand your exact language. The people who abandoned you could never survive in this highly elevated space, but you are now surrounded by the fierce prayers of the righteous. We stand together as a massive army of light. Your spiritual family is officially completely restored. Let the magnificent peace of the Almighty rest heavily upon your household tonight. Sleep deeply and without any fear of the dark shadows outside your window. The Master Surgeon has completely removed the toxic infections from your life, and your beautiful heart is beating with absolute perfection again. Every broken piece has been completely restored by His massive grace. You are a brand new creation breathing holy AIR. Stand tall as the chosen one and wear your invisible crown with immense pride. The empty room is no longer a symbol of your painful isolation. It is the majestic throne room where you finally met your true Creator face to face. Rest well in His incredibly safe arms tonight. I will meet you right back here tomorrow with the next set of divine instructions for your massive wealth. Stay completely clean and watch God move.